Narendra Modi and other children, but she was clearly serving the public at the level that she could. Around her, she was encouraging education even though she didn't have one. She was helping people even though she was no doctor. But from the generational signs that she knew, that our culture and our history has been known to have, that she was serving and spreading, and clearly was a woman of her own mind.
She absolutely was. Whether it was the Prime Minister's blog or his, when he talked about his mother, there was immense pride. The manner in which a lady, a young woman who didn't have education on her own, was able to handle her life as a child, where she incidentally had lost her own mother at a very early age, and that was the regret that stayed with her. But all the positivities that she had in her life, she didn't want her children to suffer the same, and that was why I was able to devote so much more. The poverty that the Prime Minister lived in as a child, the fact that his father was a tea seller, the fact that his mother would actually clean utensils in homes of others, they didn't let their children face all the hardships that they were facing. But somewhere down the line, the Prime Minister was able to glean from the hardships that she faced, that when he became powerful enough to be able to help people, he tried to help people as much as he could through government schemes, whether as Chief Minister or as Prime Minister, to ensure that other women do not face the hardships his mother faced. And she stood by him in those decisions. Point one. Point two, you mentioned that fact, Pooja, that when he became Chief Minister, her aim was, you must acknowledge the role of your teachers, of your guru, and that guru shishya parampara in India is actually huge. When you say matra devo bhav, pitra devo bhav, acharya devo bhav, so your mother, your father, and your teacher are actually God in life, because they are the ones who shape your personality, your life, so that you can then help future generations. And that's exactly what the Prime Minister did when he wanted to acknowledge his own mother. When he said, I'm felicitating my teachers, let me also felicitate you, my first teacher, she said no.
Very interesting. So these are of course some of the life lessons that now Prime Minister Narendra Modi has been revealing. It's also heartening to see, I must mention here, that irrespective of political ideologies, opponents or friends, messages of condolences pouring in on the demise of Prime Minister Narendra Modi's mother, Heeraba Modi. Social media is flooded with the statements coming in, and perhaps this is also significant in the manner in which all the netas have come together in this moment of sorrow and heartbreak for Prime Minister Modi and his family. Condolences messages since today morning, but imperative to mention the image that Prime Minister Modi shared at about 6:10 a.m. exact this morning. He shared the photograph of his mother holding a diya, representing the light that she spread, the light that she held onto herself and others, and then with a message that with a glorious century that's now at the feet of the God. And perhaps with those words, as we see as these last moments of last rites taking place, humble roots, extraordinary journey, no less. Because we see what Prime Minister Modi has become after the Chief Minister, Prime Minister's position, but behind him, the woman who let him explore. As Gaurav was also telling us, the fact that he was different from his other siblings. He was always curious, questioning, wanted to explore more, read more, go to Ramakrishna Mission. While his father did not understand and did not approve to a large extent, it was the mother who let him take those steps. For whether it was his eating habits, when he did not want to take salt and wanted to take only specific grains with regard to health and other measures, she let him do it. These are some of the opportunities she realized that he's exploring, and perhaps will figure out his way of life, and for sure, he did. Prime Minister Narendra Modi and the brothers and the sons of the family lighting a pyre to the mother Heeraba Modi. This time, Prime Minister Modi's visit to Gujarat was a send-off to the mother he respected and loved. Gaurav Sawant continues to be with us. Gaurav, as we are looking at these visuals, it's going to be perhaps for the next few hours he will be there. But as Saurav is also telling us that he saw Prime Minister Modi absolutely inconsolable, in tears, expectedly how a son would be, even if 100 years. But I cannot think about the fact that also we should mention about the fact that she lived a healthy life. 100 years, Gaurav, not many people get to live that long on this earth. And it's a moment to also feel and celebrate that The fact that with her own tenacity, her dignity, her determination, her life, despite all difficulties, it was not a last few days of ill health. Until a few weeks ago, she was in the best of her health. She was voting. Of course, with age, the issues came. But till the last moment, she was on to herself. And that was perhaps symbolism of the kind of healthy life that she lived.
You're absolutely right. One, physically healthy, mentally. So there are three aspects to health: mental, physical, and spiritual. Again, something that Heeraba, the family, and the Prime Minister have also spoken of. Again, from her very early days, deeply religious, deeply spiritual. She used to sing bhajans a lot. That gives a lot of peace of mind, and through the life. In fact, that incidentally went a long way in shaping Prime Minister Narendra Modi's personality. Also, the fact that he's a very devout Hindu, the fact that he's a practicing Hindu, travels to temples. You recall he'd spent some time in Kedarnath. He'd gone to the Ramakrishna mission, very inspired by the life and teachings of Swami Vivekanand. Then subsequently traveled to Kedarnath, stayed there for quite some time, and then came back to Gujarat, started politics there in a very big way, has been a Sangh Karyakarta. In all of this, his mother had a key role in shaping his spiritual thinking, his thinking otherwise, and also subsequently his actions as a political leader. So you're absolutely right. His mother played a very key role in his personality. But that, if you recall, has been the history in our country. But he's also been a very devoted son. He would go back to his mother every opportunity he got, met her on each of her birthday, on his birthday. There was that incident, you'd recall, that every birthday she would present, she would gift him, whether it is sawa rupya or 101 rupya, she would give him that money and he would save it, he would keep it. How did he spend all the money that he had actually earned? Again, that's a very interesting story. As Chief Minister of Gujarat, whatever money he'd earned between 2002 and 2014, when he came to Delhi, he gave all of that money for the well-being of daughters of people who were employed in his staff at the Chief Minister's office. Again, a very significant messaging there. A lesson that he'd learned from his mother, who gave whatever money she had to help others. You'd recall 2013, there was the Kedarnath tragedy. In 2013, his mother had saved up some money, if I recall correctly, about 5,001 rupees. And, she gave away whatever her savings were to help people of Kedarnath, the tragedy, of the tragedy. So that's how Pooja, his personality, was also shaped by her actions.
All right, Gaurav Sawant there telling us about some of the lessons and some of the memories that Prime Minister Narendra Modi has constantly mentioned. Gaurav, I'll give you just a short breather there as we have these visuals from the cremation site where Prime Minister Narendra Modi is presently with the other siblings of the family. A final send-off, born in 1922, no more in 2022. 100 years of Heeraba Modi living life the way she wanted to. Remember, she could have easily moved in to the Lok Kalyan Marg, earlier Racecourse Road, where the Prime Minister's residence is, but she chose to stay back in Gujarat. And with the simplicity, the familiar terrain that she had lived all her life, briefly visiting Prime Minister Modi, who showed her around in the premises and showed her about specifically the plants and the growth that has been done in the beautiful area. Saurav Vaktania is also now joining me. So this is what happened today morning for our viewers who are joining us right now. Prime Minister Narendra Modi arrived shortly after 7:30 a.m. in Gujarat, directly heading into the residence where his mother lived, where of course this was the last send-off that he was giving to his mother.